Hi everyone, another great week. Today it is pouring down, absolutely pouring down. I've just taken the dog for a walk, hence I've still got my protective cap on. Keep the rain out of my eyes. And the dog's going bonkers because he doesn't like the rain, so as soon as he had an opportunity, he came in and starting to get himself dried off. My jeans are soaking. But I thought I'd record this whilst it's still fresh in my head. Hope you're all well. It's been another week, isn't it, with different rules, um, different updates, and other things happening around the world. I wanted to talk about this week about the idea of use them or lose them. You you may resonate with this. You might recognize this where the number of times I've been driving somewhere, okay, and I have no idea how I got there. But when I do get near where I'm going, suddenly it's almost like I wake up. I go, oh, okay, right, I'm here. But I couldn't tell you how I got there. Um, yeah, obviously I'm a safe driver. I do stop at traffic lights. I do stop at roundabouts. Um, yeah, it's just again you might recognise it, or even if you're walking anywhere, you're walking into town. So you start your walk, you start your journey, and the next thing you know, you're in town. You're thinking, whoa, okay, what happened there? It's almost like time travel, isn't it, or teleportation? But isn't it interesting how you always become aware at the right moment? You become aware as you are approaching your destination, or you become aware when you are in town. What that's all about is the whether you call it universal mind, universal consciousness, or universal thought, something prods us. Something prods us awake at the right moment. And it's almost like the universe saying, oi, wake up. You're there now. You got to do something. Oh, okay. Yeah. Imagine all those times when your mum or your dad or someone came into your room and woke you up and you're in a deep sleep and you go, oh, God, where am I? It's that same idea, isn't it? And it happens all the time. And that's where what I do comes into play as well. Is that what I do is I help people wake up to what's actually going on, or help them wake up to find and discover the person they always were deep inside them. This week's story, very topical actually with the rain. There was once a town, nice town, had valleys either side, mountain ranges, picturesque views wherever you were in the town. And one day it started raining, and the rain grew heavier and heavier, and as the rain fell, the waters rose, and as the waters rose, burst the riverbanks, poured into the car parks and the fields and flooded them, and the rain continued. By the next day, the rain was up to the steps of people's houses, creeping up towards their front door. So the local government thought, we better help you. So what they did was they ordered buses to go in and evacuate all the people affected. Lots of people went. Others didn't. Others stayed in their houses and moved to the first floor, the bedrooms or the bathrooms, for safety, thinking it's fine. We'll keep this one out. We'll keep going. We'll see this one out. And amongst them was one old man. And the old man said, nope, this is my home. This is my town. You are not taking me out of here. And I am not going anywhere because I believe that God will save me. So the buses left town with all the people that they could and wanted to go. The very next day, the rain hadn't stopped, and overnight, the rain was now at the middle of the windows of the ground floor. Things were getting serious now. And again, people in the upper houses started, in the upper floors started shouting for help and thinking, better get out of here. So the authorities sent in boats, and little dinghies and little boats went in with the brave guys to help people out the windows onto the boats. And again, they asked and said, look, you need to come, or we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know when the rain's going to stop. But the old man said, no. And he was sat now on his roof with one leg either side of the roof. And he said, no, I'm not going. This is my house. This is my town. And I believe in that I'm going to be saved by God. Okay, well, despite the best efforts, the boats had to leave, and they took with them all the people that wanted to go. Sure enough, the rain kept going that night, and the next day, the rains were way up, coming up way over the houses. Now, long story short, the man was still there the next day. And this time, the authorities thought, right, okay, we've got to help this man. He's the only one left. We've got to help him. So they sent in a helicopter, big, huge helicopter, rescue helicopter, with its winches and its big rotors. And the helicopter came in really low, really dangerously above, hovering over the roofs of the houses, and with the turbines swinging, with the propellers swinging around. And the noise it was making, it was scaring all the birds out of the trees that were left, and it was starting to knock off slates off the surrounding houses. That's how much noise and how much power it had. And this one person, this lady, hung out the side of the helicopter with a winch and came down on the winch and said, look, to the old man, jump and I will save you. I can take you now. And the old man said, no, I'm staying here. I don't care what you say or what you do. I firmly believe I am going to be saved. This is my house, my town. No one's going to budge me. I believe I'm going to get saved. So, despite the best efforts, the helicopter also had to leave. And as you'd imagine, the man died. But the man was not a happy bunny. Oh no. His soul went up to where souls go to. And he banged on the door, on the gate, so loud that if anyone was sleeping, they'd certainly wake up. And I was just banging, and the gate was shaking. It was slowly opened, and there was St. Peter. And the man said, I've got a bone to pick with God. I want to speak to him now. Now, St. Peter, knowing everything about the human condition, calmly listened while the man told him his problems and what had happened. And St. Peter said, okay, after he'd let the old man finish. And St. Peter said, yeah, I can imagine how you'd feel and what you'd think if that was the case. And the old man says, none of your flannel. Just get me the boss. I want to speak to him now. Okay, said St. Peter. Give me a second. So he got on the old phone to the penthouse. He said, God, there's someone here who's really, really annoyed at you. He's got a bone to pick with you. He wants to come and see you. And God said, fair enough, send him up. So St. Peter took the old man to an elevator, pushed the button for the penthouse, and after what seemed like an eternity, the man arrived at the penthouse. Doors opened. Fanfares, choruses. And he steps out into the penthouse and he sees God. And God says, how can I help? He says, I believed in you. I was expecting you to save me. After all my life, after everything I'd done throughout my life, believing in you, believing that you would save me, and yet you didn't. You fell short. And God said, what do you mean? And the man said, well, I was expecting something from you, some divine message or something to say, there you go, that's how to save yourself. And God went, right, so let me get this right. I sent you a bus. I sent you a boat. And I sent you a helicopter. Was that not message enough for you? And God said, if you'd only used the 5 senses I've given you and the resources around you, you would have survived. You would have saved yourself. And God said, it was your responsibility. Use what you have or lose it all. Yeah. So until next time, friends, stay well. Thank you for finding time in your day, for watching the videos, and for reading the emails, and for listening as well if you've got it on YouTube in the background. As always, it wouldn't be the same without you.